I just been having fun with this tool called Midjourney. It's an AI. You might have heard of it. It's probably one of the more popular image AIs. Another one that's really popular is DALL-E, DALL dash E. Midjourney, by the way, it's kind of a, it's an unusual interface, but it makes sense once you start using it. I'm gonna show you both how to connect to that or use it, but I also just wanted to show you, like in a matter of minutes yesterday, I was able to get all these images that we're looking at right now that I'll go into details on. It's just amazing. It's just a lot of fun, and I think in the right hands, uh, you can probably come up with some really both creative but also valuable things. So um, I won't give you the exact prompts at the moment, but they're super simple and it makes sense. This one was um, imagine, which you always start your first command with slash imagine. And I'll demonstrate that in a minute. Um, but imagine a personified light bulb playing a Les Paul guitar. That's it. It's just so strange. Each of these is different. One's upscaled. So I'm just going to open this one so you see it up close. You look at the clarity and the detail that's there. It's pretty incredible. Okay. So coming back here, this was just imagine a black Les Paul with a red pick guard, right? That's that little triangular thing. And let me just show you what that looks like. Again, it's interesting. If you look closely, sometimes you'll find some really weird stuff like, wait a minute, how many strings is this? 3, 6, and then there's like a spot for the 7th here, and kind of missing because it goes along the line of the pickguard. But there's actually 7 strings on this particular Les Paul. Pretty funny. I don't know if they all work out down here too. Yeah, so it seems to. Often you'll see the knobs will be in the wrong places and so on. It's very interesting, but the gist was there. Okay, notice this one's slightly different. Like you can see the positioning of the knobs is slightly different, and that's the thing you have to deal with a lot of these image generations. You know, I mean, all that one was, again, it just kind of came up with a couple of samples and like, hey, I like that one. Let's take a look. But it does a lot of variation on its own. A number of these were all imagine a Tesla model, 2025 Tesla Model S with a lime green wrap, and some of them were matte wrap. So you'll see this one's glossy. I didn't tell it anything about its setting or anything like that, so it just came up with like, let me put this in front of this fancy house, right? So there's one, crazy wheels with the lime green adornment as well, very cool looking. And then here we'll see a flat one, right, similarly in front of a house, but again, randomly. Here I had a series of them driven by a chimpanzee. So automatically it puts it into a road setting. Sometimes you can see some obvious stuff here, like look at this double yellow line. It generally looks pretty good. That guy's a little big, but notice it's like a triple yellow line. If you come back in here, this guy looks a little better. I like these guys. Even another triple line. That's my favorite of these. Might be this one. Yeah, that's good. He's got this strange, peculiar, I don't know, green notepad that he's holding with his neck. So, but look at the detail of the car is just insane. It's very accurate. Here we have a chimpanzee playing Les Paul. Just again variations. I didn't really upscale anything here, I think, but you get the gist, right? It looks pretty good. You can see where it's off, but again, it's like for 5 seconds, not too bad. All right. Then we had I did a couple of like imagine a billboard that says or that reads, quote, welcome to Babooville, population 5. And I'm going to show you both the originals and then the slightly doctored. I had to doctor them myself, right? So this one you'll see it had trouble with, it often has troubles with words, right? Even though I gave it exact words that I wanted, text that I wanted. Notice the M is a little wacky here. Everything else looks okay though, right? And it decided to make it decrepit looking. That's fine with me. Here's an edited one. I had to go into Photoshop and kind of fix that M, and I basically cleaned up with this Photoshop manipulation. And then similarly, here's welcome to Babooville. And they decided to throw this decrepit car in there as well. I thought it was pretty cool, so I cleaned that up as well, just so it would be, usable in that form. And then that inspired me to say, why don't I mix Tesla with the Babooville thing too? And by the way, this one's straight photoshopped. I had to clean it just a tad, but it overlapped the U's and the V's, so I just did my best to save it. And it also also made a strange L with a period between the L and the A. So I just extended the L to cover up the period. I didn't put too much effort into it. The thing is that this rusted out Tesla, look in detail, you can zoom in on this a bit. What you see, first of all the weird writing on the back doesn't look right, but this little rusty wheel that isn't too bad. I like the gapped and the rusted out car randomly, but the windows, it looks like it's just muddy and dirty and rusty dirt. But overall, again, can't complain. I really like it. So that was good. Let me just flip that way. This is imagine a tube amp in a modern home overlooking or with glass walls. That was it. This is simply, I happen to have a Tiffany and Company box on my desk right now because I probably put some stuff in it that he lent to me. And I just threw this, I said give me a Tiffany and Company blue box on a table, right? And it didn't put the logo part of it out, but I really appreciate the quality and the attractiveness of what it did draw. And I love the depth of field stuff it uses too. Here's a different version as well. I think we're almost at this one too. Imagine a modern home on a cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. I love this pool because it's probably, just looking at it, looking at the scale, I would say it's at best 4 feet deep. I don't know, maybe 3 feet deep. But other than that, it's pretty interesting, and it just whips it up like this. And then finally, what else? These food ones were amazing. This is just, imagine a cast iron skillet of steak fajitas. This is, imagine a cast iron skillet with over easy eggs and steaks. And look at this. Other than the weirdness where it did the handle, right? That is a weird angle. Everything looks pretty photographic or photorealistic. And then here's just, imagine a bowl of yakisoba, which again doesn't really look like most yakisobas I've ever seen, but it looks good. Very, very well done. Again, all off the cuff moments. So let me go into that second half of this and kind of demonstrate this to you. So here's where I was messing around with the modern home, but let's just pick something completely new and just see it in real time. So here, I'm in a tool called Discord. If you don't know it, a lot of gamers use it as their means of communicating together. Other people use it for other purposes, but think of it like Slack or just iMessage or whatever. But in this case, the way you get to talk to Midjourney's bot is through a private channel that you have, or actually it's probably a public channel, but that you have with Midjourney, so you can just basically ask it things and then it talks back to you that way. So the way you ask it, it actually shows you on the right there. I'm going to use /imagine, which is the thing I use 90% of the time. But I'll just say, let's, for the fun of it, I'll say an iPhone with a cartoon image displayed on its screen. I have no idea what it's going to do. Okay. So we give it the request, so /imagine an iPhone with a cartoon image displayed on the screen. And I don't give it any specifics, so it's got some defaults here. This is a sizing thing that it does, so it's going to do a 250, I think a 250 pixel square image, just so it doesn't take too long to draw it, and it gives you the essence. It's going to give 4 choices automatically, and then you can look at it and go like, okay, so it showed it being held by someone here. Let me open this up a bit. So you get 4 different images. It's like, oh, I kind of like this one. Actually, I kind of like this one as well for the cartoon value of it. So if we say like, okay, that's one I want to pursue, this will upscale 1, right? I think it's upscale. This will give you a variation on 1. So it'll give you 4 more variations based on this one, or a higher quality version of this one, so you can take a better look at it. I'll do both. By the way, 1, 2, 3, and 4, just the way you'd naturally expect it. Horrible DACO sometimes on this stuff, but that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so if I say upscale 1, notice it goes into this next mode, and it comes very quickly. It just gives us a bigger version of this that we can look at. Okay, you can open in the browser. I can right-click and just save the image at this point, and it's just a PNG file, so you can do with it what you want at that point. If you really like it, I do the upscale, at this point, a real upscale, subtle which means it'll keep it effectively as it is, but it gives you a super high quality. I forget what it is by default. Notice there's other commands you can do. You can be creative when you upscale it. So go nutty, do something to it a little more drastic than just keeping the essence of what's there. Same with variations. You can get variations with only subtle changes or variations with strong changes as well. And then you could zoom out. I don't know if you can actually zoom in as well, but zooming out is pretty easy to do. Like if it was here, you'd probably see more of the setting, and you'd see more of the arm, all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I think this looks good. So I will just click on this, but it probably takes too long to demonstrate. But you'll see it goes relatively slowly. So first it's waiting to start, and then we're going to get a percentage of completion here as it's going. So it's only at quote 0% right now, but it jumps like in pretty large increments of 15%, 31%. You get the gist. When it's all done, then the image will be relatively large, and that's typically if I think I'm keeping something like the ones I showed originally, I would go to this extent and get it to be that quality. So it obviously takes a little longer. It's about $5 a month, I think, to be in Midjourney. That's what I'm paying, and have been paying for several months. I use it periodically to do imagery for work purposes, but you can use your imagination and use it in any kind of clever way. So okay, so that's finished now. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and what I'll do is just save the image. Actually, so I'll save it to downloads, and let's get over there. Here's my latest one right here, and I'll go ahead and add this to my photos library. And check that out. And so I'll just come up to the library, and there it is. And we see it there. So it looks good. I love it's really, again, it's a little challenge when it comes to lettering and so on. Look at this little male icon. It looks a little disjoint. Not sure what I'm looking at there, that icon. And here, even the badge is not exactly right. So a bit messy, but that's good. All right. Hope that was helpful and that you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you soon.